Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference. This podcast is rated R.
This podcast is rated TVMA. Like, I don't know what to say. Mom.
Yeah, Ryan's mom probably don't listen.
This is going to be one of those episodes you maybe don't want to listen to, Mom. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to say because this is a Serendipity Sessions episode where we just free flow.
We're just freaking flying.
I don't know that you're going to want to hear some of the explicit things I got to say this episode. I really mean it. I really mean it. I really feel the need to be like pretty transparent right now. I'm not going to lie.
Based on the catch-up sesh that we just had.
Yeah, we just had a real quick catch-up.
So we were talking this morning and I was sending some voice notes, and I love that I'm an early bird and Ryan's a night owl because, you know, when I'm up at 4, he's still up at 1. And I was like, all right, you know, serendipity session. Let's talk hurricanes, you know, like, and he was like, in it to win it. And he, you know, experienced Hurricane Hilary, but Hurricane Ryan was out on the town last night.
Jesus, literally. Let's like get some like logistical things out of the way, like just the actual literal hurricane. And then I think we can start going into these like funny symbolic hurricanes in our lives. You know what I mean? I really mean it. But literally, like I don't think I've ever experienced a hurricane before. And it's basically like LA. I think it was like the first hurricane since like, I don't know, 1939 or some weird shit. Yeah, it was like 100 years or whatever. And it ended up not really being as bad as like they prepped us for it hard. Like I was like worried. Like I was like, people are gonna die. It was like, I'm not kidding. Like, because they were like, people drown in flash flood. Like most deaths in hurricanes occur because of the flash flooding, and LA's not set up for this shit. You know, I was like dead worried. Not gonna lie. And then it just ended up not being nearly that bad. But I was like, my life became a hurricane at that point because I was house and dog sitting for my little brother at that point. He was supposed to come back on the day of the hurricane. Obviously, his flight got scheduled. I was trying to tell him this. I was like, you're not going to get back in time, you know? And I have like emergency shit at my place. I had nothing at his place. And then his power goes out like before the hurricane even hits. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like terrified. I couldn't leave because it's like electric doors and shit. So I was like, if I even take the dog out, I had to like Postmates like pee pads for the dog because I was like, if I leave this apartment with the dog to take her outside to go pee or something, I'm going to be locked out of his apartment. Like I can't, you know, get back in because I don't have like
that's the
whatever.
Unfortunate part of that.
So I was just like, so I was literally holed up in his fucking apartment. His power was out for like a day and a half. Like no, everybody else who had power outages, it was like real quick or something. I don't know, but his went out before the fucking hurricane even hit, and then it just didn't come back. It didn't come back. So it was so fucking annoying. But because of that, it literally screwed up my schedule. I had like pre-charged all of my devices and shit, but I had like readings that day, like my fucking I'm dead, and because the power went out so early, I wasn't prepared for that. I'm like, so my phone was like almost dead, so I had to use like my laptop to charge my phone. Everything ran out of power, basically. Yeah, like I was like on like my laptop ran out of charge, my fucking iPad ran out. I had my phone finally get charged up, but then I was like trying to talk to people to be like, what's going on with you? Are you safe? Like, what's happening? Trying to check the weather and shit. Like, I'm trying to like, it was just like weird. So anyway, it has totally offset everything. Like we haven't, as of recording this, we haven't even put out the episode from before. I've got like most of it edited, but I literally couldn't finish editing it. That was my plan last night. And then the hurricane last night happened like, in my life. So I couldn't finish it. Like, so it's just, that like life has literally been such a fucking hurricane lately. Like this was the perfect episode theme, I think, for us to just riff on.
And I've been
Fucking
through like
love it.
15 hurricanes. So so to
Yeah,
hear that
because
they were
that's
a
normal on
tropical
your coast,
storm. Yeah,
right?
exactly. So to hear like a tropical storm be like, it's going. I mean, take it seriously, but I'm not moving. I'm not leaving my house. If it's a cat 3 and above, if I start to move, then you need to move. Cat 3, like
A
that's
cat 3.
yeah, y'all had a tropical storm essentially. You had some wind and some rain, so
Yeah,
cat
it
3,
really
you
wasn't
want to think
bad.
about leaving. Yeah, well, thank God, and hopefully that doesn't happen again to California.
Yeah, I mean, like it's I guess like global warming and shit. Like, and I think El Nino. I don't really fucking know what caused it. I don't fucking know. And it's like I don't know. I'm from the Midwest, so like I've seen way more rain than this.
Yeah.
But it just was freaky because it's like
Yeah.
LA's just not set up for this stuff. So it could have been way worse. I guess I don't know. But it has offset so much of my life.
Life hurricanes, because it really seems that life is very tumultuous for many people. I just came off of a hell of a weekend. I had my retreat. I had a nice time. But,
Good.
but people around me, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And some hurricanes are fun. You got so for you instance, right now, you got a hurricane party. That's your vibe right now. So hurricane parties are so fun because you're like, you congregate together. You're with your buds. You're drinking some PJ. You're partying. You're dancing. The lights go out. No big deal. We got candles. We got flashlights. We got a compound. And then, so that's a fun hurricane party. Then we have death, destruction, mayhem, where you're like, oh, like I should have evacuated. Here comes a flood. Oh my God. Am I going to be okay? The roof just came off my house. What in the literal fuck is going on? So hurricanes have various meanings.
They literally do. I think like, these serendipity sessions, we literally don't research or like plan. Like I don't have all my shit prepped in a note doc and whatever, like we do on like a deep dive episode. But I did like look up just a couple things. I was like, are there like myths? No, dead serious. I was just like,
Of course,
what?
the Gemini looked up a few things.
A couple things, but it's true. Like in Mayan culture, hurricanes were associated with the god Huracan, who control. But it's interesting because I was like, I know that there's symbolism here that I'm going to want to tie into. Like, I know
Mhm.
it. And so this god Hurricane controlled these storms as a symbol of creation and destruction. So true, right? Like, that is literally like the feeling, and that is the feeling I feel like I've been in like
Well, and
lately.
after a hurricane, like after a natural disaster, you come together, you're sweeping up. You need a can of beans. Here's a can of beans. You need, like you come together. It creates this, that devastation creates a true sense of community. So
It's so true. It is true. I was even thinking like honestly, like I was pretty like because what I don't remember, was it yesterday, I think, when you had brought up this idea of the hurricane. So I started thinking about it last night once I went out.
mhm.
And I didn't plan on going out, you guys. That was like I got swept up in a hurricane last night. Okay. We'll talk a little bit about it.
No. You got swept up in a flash flood.
Totally. Literally. I don't know, man. I mean, and I haven't been going out lately. I'm dead serious. Like I have been fucking
You've
head
been good.
down, work, 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 work. Like to the point where like I go to this bar that I used to go to all the time. The bartender was like, I haven't seen you in forever. I saw a couple friends. I haven't seen him forever. Right. But then one of them was telling me like he was out of town.
Oh,
But he
so you
was
mean you're
telling
not
me,
in rehab?
yeah, I'm not in
Excuse
fucking
me.
rehab, everybody. I'm working. Jesus. Maybe I need rehab after last night, though. Guys, explicit. I'm sorry. Like complete, like my spiritual journey. Do not judge me. Please. I swear to God, I'm spiritual, but like, sometimes you're just gonna.
You're allowed to have these expressions. So if somebody wants, if somebody finds some experiences through substances from time to time, and you're able to control that, then that's you
Yeah,
compared to, so yeah, don't judge.
yeah. Please don't judge me. Yeah.
Or judge, but you know what? My retreat this weekend was on guilt, shame, and judgment. And how you judge other people is how you judge yourself. So if you're coming for him hard, then chances are you really aren't too nice to yourself either, bucko.
Yeah, well, and I mean, if you're listening at this point, you've heard a lot of other shit in these episodes. Like, what do you think at this? Like, what? We are obviously not goody two shoes. I like Jesus. Like, sorry if I gave you that impression. Even, um,
No.
no, like I don't know. But I was thinking last night, like, because I ran into this one friend, and he was like saying how he was out of town, but he like I haven't been like hooking up, lately. Like it's
Hmm.
just not been my vibe with just like
Hmm.
random strange sex. Again, mom,
Yeah.
turn this shit off. But I'm not kidding. If you are still listening, mom, turn it off. Um, but like my
This is your
friend,
last warning.
I'm dead serious. Like, please. So my friend literally was like out of town, but he was like getting hit up by all of his hookups because apparently everybody was like trying to hook up with each other and like cuddle in for the hurricane, like hurricane and hang, and it like
Well, you can tell that's their first one because, like, because you want to make sure
totally.
that you really like that person. This isn't just a casual bang that you want to, because you could be stuck for days with with these
Yeah,
people.
literally. It's like we
Very
could go
silly.
down. This could be our last moment together. And
LA, y'all need to hit me up for your next hurricane. I will give you the survival. I mean, that's poor decision making right
yeah, like
there.
what a terrible, well, gays in fucking West Hollywood, like I don't know, they're all fucking stupid. I mean, but like it was so interesting because for some reason last night when he told me that, it made me feel bad, like kind of like momentarily. But
Uh-huh.
really, I'm dead serious because I was like, I don't think a damn person like asked him if I was okay, except like a couple of LA people that I was already talking to. But I was like, I mean, and my mom, like, I think the day earlier in the day was like, how's the weather there or some shit. But like,
Hi, honey.
I know it just made me think, like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
where I was like, oh my God, people were like shacking up together during the hurricane. Like, and I didn't have anybody. Like, I was all alone the whole time. Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh.
No, it's fine. But then, like, really, I mean, like, whatever. But then after that, I was thinking, just like I really have been like just kind of pondering this idea of a hurricane, right? And just the feeling of that. So that was a literal hurricane where it felt like, okay, I'm in the middle of a storm and literally like a real storm. And it's like nobody's around,
Isolated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And then the how funny that like I had a great night last night, but how funny that like that I felt like I got swept up in a hurricane by someone,
Mhm.
like a different type of hurricane. I don't know how to explain it, but like I was making all these connections last night where I was just like, and now I've got people around.
That's the
Like,
best. When you are swept up in the moment, in a
yes.
hurricane moment, and it's just, like, and someone particularly who's been very guarded drops those walls, and then you're able to just rush away with the flood.
Which felt like a hurricane. Like it was crazy. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. That literally was like, it was just these moments of like, I don't know how to explain it. It was an emotional hurricane last night. Cause there's this, I don't know.
Needed emotional turbulence. It's like
Yeah.
where it's like, yes, show me these parts of you.
Yeah. And the destruction and creation, right? Like I literally kind of thought that this kind of relationship, but that sorry you guys who's listening, because I feel like there have been like times where like we've been alluding to this, or like you're like Mr.
Yeah,
Man,
Mr. Man.
and it's like you're catching on to things, but like you don't know certain things. I can't, like, I don't want to out this person. I know that they're not listening to the podcast and whatever.
I'm trying to respect people's privacy.
Yes, I think that's so important.
This is someone that, this is a special person in your
This is
life.
a super fucking special person in my life, like that I just like love dearly, and like that's quite literally the extent of it in whatever capacity that happens to be. I'm grateful for.
It's been a mutable relationship throughout the years. They've seen many different seasons of each other.
It's just crazy. I've
Yeah.
never felt so connected to anybody. If anybody is listening to this and believes in twin flames, first of all, fuck you, stop it. But second of all, it like this would be that type of like feeling for
But
me.
also,
It's not.
hey, this but if I did hypothetically believe in this
If
content
I
that angers
did,
me
this would
down to
be
my
it.
core, this would be it.
I just mean like I mean it is like a reference to like that deep fucking connection, you know?
But also the chasing, one's always chasing, one's always
Yes.
running. Yeah. There's like when it's like magnets. When you're on, but when you turn them around, Like those sorts of connections are the most fulfilling and also the most maddening because there's no sense of security. Because when you're with each other, you're like, I could conquer the world, I could do anything. And then when you turn the magnets around, it's like, it's the most infuriating because it's like, how are we not speaking the same language when that's just what the fuck happened?
I know it's really weird. And it really has been that way. Like, I don't know, like ever since like we had like a couple years where we weren't talking, and like now we've
Yeah,
been.
yeah. Thank you for this is years step two, people. If you're going to talk about twin flames, we're not talking about some dude or lady or they that you just
Yeah,
met.
this
It
is
is like
not.
it's one of those, and it's not that toxic relationship that you just can't get out of. You both
Yeah.
experience personal growth within this realm.
Yeah, like literally, like I think the best way I can put it, that does seem to make sense to like people, the couple people I've like been like pretty explicit with about this, is that we did not talk for like basically 3 years. I did not get to know him for like 3 years. And this was my choice. And I needed to do that for me. And I was in a relationship with someone else, right? And then the second that relationship ended, this person walks back in my life. I had come to peace with like not knowing him, and being like, I will
Mhm.
never know him again. And it sucked though. Like as much as I know I needed to cut that off, like to the like I don't unfriend people on social media, even like I don't care them. I
Yeah.
had to. With him, I lost the number, I lost it all. And I I don't have like regrets in life, but I feel like if I did, like that would be the one, like of like I hated not knowing him. I always
Well, and
wanted
even
him
while
to
you
be
were
well. And
while you were in that relationship, and I was getting, we were getting to know each other and send it, like he was brought up, and you were very
yeah,
committed
I
to this,
was. Yeah,
to your boyfriend at the time, but it was still that person where it was like, your heart was tugging, and I think everyone can relate to that, where it's not your genitals tugging, it's not your mind, it's that heart tie, like where it's just
yeah.
like, like I can't shake you.
I
And
don't. Oh my
and it's these people in your life sometimes. And this can happen not just romantically too, guys. It can happen with I
totally.
have so many friendships where it's like, I cannot shake you. And I just stopped trying to shake those girls.
Well, and I think that that's like, I think that's rare. I think that is what in my mind, beautiful fucking thing to be like, somebody matters that much to you. Dude, what a
Yeah.
cool fucking feeling. Like, it's easy to look at that without knowing the whole damn story. It's easy to look at it and be like, is that a toxic relationship? Is that person really good for
100%.
you? I don't like that person for you. No, bitch, I know what it's like to
I
not have
know.
them anymore. And then to have them back in my life and to be like, are we going to be a thing? Are we just hooking up? Are we just friends? And it hurricanes all over the place. And it has been since he came back in my life. But
You know what? There's this quote that I want to tell, like for you in this
please,
specific. So it's by I heard it. Steven Speaks. He's on Instagram, but connection cannot be created or denied. It's either there or it's not. So it doesn't matter how much time goes by. Attachments
yeah,
can be strengthened, bonds can be strengthened, but connection is either there or it's not. So that's why when you see someone that you haven't seen in a while and you just pick right back up, compared to you might see a best friend where you love this person, but that spark isn't there. Connection is either there or it's not. It can't be created or denied. And once I heard that quote, so many relationships in my life, I was like, oh shit, because then I stopped trying to fight them.
dude.
Not a good one. It ruminates in my fucking soul, in my brain, because I will try and cut people off when I have a fearful attachment style. Yeah, so I'll be like, and then I'll try and cut you off, and then I'll come back and be like, oh my god, my bad. And so
My,
but there were certain people I could never, like, I would pack my toys up, leave the playground. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. We're going home.
yeah,
And then, but there are certain people I would come back to the playground for.
I damn straight. I'm like, I'm an Aquarius rising. We put up with a lot of shit, but then after like putting up with so much shit, it'll be like the smallest, dumbest thing that makes us be like, all right, now fuck you. I don't know you anymore. I will cut people out in my life, no problem.
Yeah.
There is like, when it's different and when you don't want to, especially having already gone through years of not knowing this person. I don't know. So I don't know.
This is so relatable because
I
everybody has
hope.
those. Yeah, no, everybody has that friendship, that relationship. Like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic where you're just
Yeah.
like, damn, like, and then when you get that person back, like, or when you get that friendship back, it's like, something feels, but then you could be in that state of chaos. My friend that I had just seen, my former best, whatever, she asked to see me. She was like, we've been texting and it's been great. And she was like, I'd like to see you just like one-on-one to catch up through over the years. And I was like, yeah, like tell me when, ew.
It's like, and this is how cool, like a Venus retrograde, this is happening. People from the past coming back and whatever. I mean, this wasn't this person, but this Venus retrograde has been crazy for me regarding this person. Like, we literally,
Yes.
I dead serious, you guys. Like, there was like probably like a month ago now. We kind of got in a
Yeah, y'all had
fight.
a
We didn't
fight.
talk
Yeah.
for a few weeks. It basically became very clear within our fight. I don't even want to call it a fight because I knew we were going to be fine. I really did. So I hate that word. I don't know what to call it. But there was
Disagreement.
this like, yeah, there was a disagreement. There was like an issue. And it,
Your feelings got hurt,
well, oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, but then it came out in that conversation that it was like, he he literally said, I need a friend. Like, and so it became very clear, like, we can't hook up. Welcome back. we
Oh my God. All of a sudden, my computer, like the internet goes out, my computer freezes, I freeze. I'm like, what is going on? So, T-Mobile, we're going to see if you're really 5G. So, Mercury retrograde.
literally Mercury just turned retrograde not even 24 hours ago, and we like are having all these issues. This is classic Mercury retrograde shit. Dead serious. So
Glad we got
funny.
that figured out. All
Yeah,
right.
so funny. So, maybe I'll put like a weird musical interlude there or something where we just like cut off. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even remember
Um,
where whatever. I think I
oh, you were going for it.
I really don't remember where I was exactly. All I will say is real briefly, like I don't know. We just had an amazing night last night. I just
Yeah,
didn't say
which
because
is
like
the
I
best.
didn't think we were going to. Like, I mean, I had no expectation. I was like, okay, we're done, like, with that level of the relationship.
Exactly. There were no expectations. In the law of detachment, you were able to just be because you didn't have the experience of, okay, are we going, or the worry, are we going home together? Do you like me? I like
Yeah.
you. You were able to be honest and like just have like the
Yeah.
walls were down. And it's where when both parties have the walls down, there's just such beautiful synergy that can be made. And God damn it, if everyone could just like trust themselves and trust the people that they know that they can trust, these connections. And can you imagine the
Yeah.
beautiful magic that could be made? But no, we're all guarded assholes, just like poking around, putting up our egos, our bravado. Girls do it too. I mean, so I love it when people have moments like this because it's just like the acceptance of it, especially when you have it with a fucking moody ass Scorpio.
I
When you
know.
can
And
crack through that shell. I love Scorpios, by the way. I love Geminis. I love all the gnarly signs, but especially when you're able to get in with a Scorpio, it's like, isn't this nice?
it matters. It literally matters if you can puncture a Scorpio and like be in their little inner circle or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
Like, let me
it's a big
in.
deal. It's very hard to get in with a Scorpio. I always view it as like such a fun challenge, like, to try.
Well, and it's just like, see how nice this is. And then once you get in there once, they'll kick you back out because that's just the nature of the beast. But then they'll let you, like, you have like a VIP card, like they'll let you back in, but it's a delicate dance that you have to do with these people.
Yes. And when we kind of had our what disagreement, is that the word we ended up using like a month
Yes.
ago or whatever? I I really did know we were fine, but it did put that fear in me a bit of like, I can't lose you again. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want this to go away. And so I was of course like,
I feel these Scorpio tests though, they test you to see like I don't know if it's I don't think it's even conscious sometimes. It's like, how are you going to handle this? And then if like, and then it's like, okay, am I, because I think they've been told their whole lives, you are too much, you are too, so then they retract. It's
yeah,
like, It's like trying to open a really heavy old wooden castle door that's 25 feet tall and you're my size, and you just have to keep right. And then one day that somebody helps you open the door on the other side, and you get to come to the castle party.
We had a castle party last night. Dead serious, y'all. No, but for real. I mean, it's so cool too. Like, because you're right. Like, it was a no expectation thing. Seriously, and I think it's coupled with because I feel like I've been on the no expectation game lately. Like, really trying to at least. This was different
Mhm.
because of that little bit of a fear, like from that disagreement a month ago. Like, I've been a little like I just I already know what it's like to fucking lose this important person. I cannot again. So like whatever phase this relationship needs to move into to just protect us, like to maintain a bond
Protect
because
the
it's a special
connection.
fucking connection.
The,
Yes.
the
I was down
connection. Yeah.
for. Yeah, and I was like I truly had no expectation, truly, but also I think it was coupled with this idea of like being grateful for what you have at what right like and not I wasn't expecting more. I didn't want more. I wasn't asking for more. I was just so grateful to be at the same table as him, last night and then to
Hmm.
like end up hanging out the whole fucking night, you guys. Like I haven't slept. I literally
Yeah.
left his place and walked my ass here. He was like sad that I even had to leave. He kept asking what time it was, like when I had to leave to come here and record. Like I, like, I was just like, I don't know. It
That's how
mattered.
that's how committed Ryan is to this podcast. He just left an incredible
I did.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it
it's
felt
it's
like,
always it's always good to leave first too. Like
oh, totally. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because I was like, okay, we've had like a
I
whole.
think most Scorpios probably have a fearful, or if you're, I don't want to make this generalization, but I'm going to, like that dismissive or fearful attachment style. Very few people have just naturally secure attachment styles.
I know. I don't really. I feel like I go in and out of different ones. I don't know, avoidant and anxious and all
Totally.
these things. Like I go in and out all the time. I think like people need to give themselves the flexibility on some of the attachment style stuff because it's not the end all be all. But it is a cool way to view yourself. I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, like I just like I don't know. I need to hit him up, make sure like he's totally cool with the way that everything went down last night because it was real fucking fun, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I had a real good time.
Well, just tell him you had a good time.
I
Like be like,
will, yeah.
yeah. Don't
And
be
that's
like,
it.
hey, are you okay? Tap
No,
tap. Be
no. Oh,
like,
hell no. No, 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 no,
yeah.
no. Yeah. I mean, I think he is for sure. And I'm not, again, there's no like expectation. Like, I'm not going to hit him up and be like,
I love you.
expecting like that to happen again tonight. Like it's not, it really isn't about that. It's just like, I didn't expect the amazing night that was
Well, you
last
know
night
what?
at
Venus is
all.
still in retrograde and Mercury is still in retrograde, and you were born in both of those times. So this is probably just like a special little gift you got, while everyone else is like touring hell.
Yeah. But this really, what a fucking like, God, way to I don't know. I really have had a fucking Venus retrograde here. It is retrograde in
Hmm.
my seventh house of relationships.
Hmm.
I am like kind of beside myself.
I got a few thoughts on how it could get like. Hopefully, when all of these station direct, there's just like y'all got some nitty gritty out of this, and now there can like there's a new foundation that can be set. As far as
Yeah.
how to
Well,
proceed forward.
yes, dude. I'm like, yes. And like, again, because we got real serious. Like, we literally actually talked about the nature of like what we want in relationships last night, and we both definitely realized like we're on the same page. I don't again have expectation though, because I think what we want out of relationship is quite non-traditional, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so I think part of that is the no pressure of like defining it,
Yeah.
basically. But I have, especially since like last month when I like I knew we were fine, but I had the little fear. I've really, really been like
You
applying.
blended in. Yeah.
Yes, and like like learning and applying. Like it's not about like emotional stuff, like literally learning about how emotional regulation and like reacting and like healthy communication. It's like I know so much of this, and I could talk about so much of it, and I know the theories and blah blah blah. But I was like, I have been practicing hard. You know what I mean? And like a big thing, I don't go follow me on TikTok, everybody, but like I literally put out these videos about about this Mercury retrograde, but it was like in this bigger story, and there were like long fucking videos. But like, long story short, with this is maybe I'll like insert the audio clip in here because it's a beautiful like 1 minute video in total. But there's this guy, I don't know if he's a monk or whatever. I really don't know. But he's like saying, isn't it strange how when people are angry with each other, they're yelling at each other? It's like, you're right next to that person. Isn't that weird? Like, why are you yelling? You're right here. Why? It's strange. And he's like basically saying like a Sufi saint in ancient times said, I can't verify this. I don't know the source. It's just this guy that told this story. But he said people yell at each other because even though they're physically close, their hearts feel so far apart. And so there's such a distance that's been created. And so you yell to
Oh,
try and make up for that distance. And that hit me so hard because you can think about that in so many
that
ways,
hit me
right?
in the heart.
Dude,
And
it's so beautiful to think about because it's just true. And it's like, damn, like it made me think of like the times I yelled at him, like dead serious, or like anybody, but like especially with him, I was just like, that is it.
yeah.
I hate feeling that distance with our hearts, like I literally hate it. And whatever
Yeah.
I can do to
I'm
bridge
not a
that fucking gap,
I'm
I'm gonna
not a
bridge.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I'm not a yeller, but but that makes so much sense because I know a lot. I know a lot of yellers, like, and then I know like in those moments, these emotionally chaotic people, and typically they have a Scorpio moon, ironically. Uh like, yeah, it makes so much sense.
Because you think we have such a same with like just the anger emotion or whatever, but like we have such a complex about yelling. Like you're like, you look down on someone who's like gonna feel the need to
Express.
yell as if they can't, yeah, as if that's like unhealthy
Yeah.
expression or something. But then that just puts a whole new spin on it. It's like if somebody's yelling,
Yeah.
oh my God, think about the amount of care that they have to
Because you
do that.
wouldn't you wouldn't yell at someone,
No.
but at the same time, if you are in like narcissists and abusive people will use yelling as a tool with certain types. So like this is not for you. Like
True.
so if someone
True.
is yelling, like this is for these really for relationships where everyone's on their rocker. This is not for you to justify staying with a big sack of shit.
No. No, 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 no.
Disclaimer, because that's the thing too, is that's where a lot of people will stay in these toxic relationships because they'll hear this language and they're like, oh yes, justification for me to be here. I don't have to listen to every single person in my life, my therapist, my energy healer, my life coach, and the lady on the bus, because here are these teachings that I've heard that I'm going to interpret to justify my bullshit. I wonder who, don't you, so we have these experiences, and I've started to think like from the position of like, who am I to these people, or like, who am I to people in
Ooh.
general? Because like, I know who people are to me. And it's so, like, I like to think that I get out of my perspective, but then it's like, how do I present? Because in my mind, I know my intention. But I had a conversation with someone and they were like, I can read you like a book. It wasn't a good one. And it was like, what is the problem? Like, I was like, is
Uh-huh.
there a problem here? Like, what? Why? And there was, but it was to me, so to me, though, it was like, what? Like, I can't control how I'm viewed, but I know my intention. And so I try and articulate my intention. I try to tell people what I'm doing because my energy is so forceful and I'm intimidating to people. So I try to lessen that, but you can't control that. It's just like, how are you viewing me in these scenarios, especially with these connections? Connections, how do you view? Like, how
I
do you
know.
it's so fascinating
It
because
really
to think about, because you have there's that meme that's going around that like so many different people of you exist in so many different versions. Like some people think you are the most amazing individual, and then some people think you are human garbage because of,
yeah.
and it's just like so many versions of you exist out here
It's
in
so
the
true.
world.
Oh my God, it's so true. So true. Like that makes me think of like when I did the fucking 8-8 Lionsgate video on TikTok and it like blew up. And I had tons of people. I had tons of people pissed at me who look that was my first impression for them, and they think
Yeah.
I'm an asshole or something. And I'm like, there were a couple of them that I would respond to where they would try to tell me like you need to use like your platform for good and like why would you
Why
like
don't you get on my fucking profile then? Why don't take a look and see before you make some dumbass comment like that? I
exactly, because
get
it's like if I'm this worked up, go look at everything else. It takes a lot for me to like be like this fucking like pissed about something because y'all are getting it wrong or whatever. Um,
because you're
it's
being
just interesting.
manipulated. You're being manipulated by this tactic. I had so many people who were like, "Oh, it's coming." I'm like, no. I mean, if you want to
No,
believe in it, but you
yeah,
believe in it for a benevolent purpose. Don't believe in it for the fact that there's something like if I don't do X, Y, and Z, it's going to be bad news bears for me.
yeah. Come on. I had one funny person comment about the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. Like, wait, like it was like 2 days ago. She commented this like way after 8-8. But she was like, do you think 8-8 had anything to do or like that it's a coincidence that the fires in Hawaii happened on 8-8? And I was like, I didn't even think about that. And I was like, case in fucking point. So a portal opened and just burned down Hawaii and like
That's
100 people had to die. What a beautiful day
what?
of manifestation and abundance, right? Like, come
Yeah.
on. That was the biggest news of that fucking day. Like, yeah, come
Mm,
on. If
yeah.
if 8-8 was such a magical, beautiful, amazing day, why the fuck did it just wipe out life?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I don't
It's true though.
whatever. This is all
It's
besides
true.
the point. But I guess that's the point of these episodes, the Serendipity Sessions. This episode is a damn hurricane, dude. We're going all I'm
Mhm.
like left, right. What are we talking about next? I not
But it
even
all makes sense. It all ties
I really
into
hope
one
it
another.
does. I
It
really hope
does.
it does. I okay, so one thing I did find about the hurricane
Mhm.
thing. And by this, I literally mean it was like on my walk back this morning from
Mr. Man's house.
Mr. Man's house. Yes, I
Mr.
was just gonna say that.
Man.
I love you calling that. Yeah, I literally was like, let me Google a couple things or whatever. One thing that I found, which I think is so cool, it's from the I Ching, which I have the book, the I Ching, which is basically like a divination book. It's like a Chinese divination
Mhm.
tool. I don't know how to read the I Ching. It's actually like hard. Um, no, it's really
I
difficult.
know, but it's just like it's so you to have this like be like, I've got this, but I don't know how to read it or apply it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's I don't know. There's
Well,
a little
it'll
bit of
come to
like
you
a
later though, when you need to. Is that what you were like rustling around before we started? You were
yeah,
like,
I wanted to get the actual thing, to, like see it, Like I don't it is just it's there's also like the cultural thing. It's like it's Chinese. I'm like, I'm not Chinese. Like I don't this isn't my tool, Like, but I think I find it fascinating. And basically it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, you like do this whole thing to like find a hexagram, whatever, and then it basically will take you to like a page in the I Ching,
mhm,
like depending on like what you land on.
yeah,
And it's like written very
uh-huh.
poetically. And so you can like interpret it in many ways and it's really interesting, like which I love. It just makes you think about things and like gives you a different lens to like consider something through, right? And
Hmm.
so one of the things I saw was literally like about how the concept of a hurricane is actually reflected in the I Ching in one of the hexagrams. It's hexagram 59, if anybody knows. Okay, so it's called Huan, Huan, I think is the name of the hexagram. But the key phrase, the word, like for this idea, which I think is such a cool way to consider just the idea of a hurricane and the purpose of it. The word is dispersion. And I was like, what a weird word, right? Like, I just think that's interesting. And like, so I looked up the word dispersion. I was like, because I'm such an etymology freak, right? It just literally means to
Yeah.
scatter,
I
strew.
was gonna say disperse, yeah.
Yeah. And so this like I like again because we didn't have time and I didn't want to do hella research or whatever. I just like quickly Googled like meaning of this hexagram, right? And so I thought
Mhm,
like click the first link that I landed on. There's this one paragraph. I'm gonna read a little bit from it that I just
mhm,
think was really interesting. So it says, you need to flow more. You may feel disconnected from others or feeling out of place, but dispersing suggests that you begin to understand how you rely on others. The only thing stopping you from deeper interaction is your own fear of being real. with abundance as the underlying cause, you may be holding on to what you possess without realizing that sharing can lead to deeper
Mhm.
fulfillment. The deep waters can suggest spiritual, emotional, or creative rebirth that is brought about by opening, disperse. This is so like for me, I love it because I'm a Gemini. We're scattered. Like that's literally what this means. You
Yeah.
scatter when you disperse, and a hurricane just dispersing, right? Right? Like it's sort of like a tornado energy almost, where it's like let me pick up everything and
It's
throw it
so
all over the
wild.
place.
Yeah. And there can be tornadoes. So it's this, heavy, heavy winds that then churn up the water. The tides come in. So then, so you have mass flooding, water comes. I remember when I was 4, I went through Hurricane Hugo. And so all my toys, we lived right across from the Intercoastal Waterway. All my toys were on the first floor. So we come back to the house and all my toys are in the neighbor's yard and they didn't have a house. For some reason, we still had a house, luckily. And so it was so my beloved Pink Panther was like and I was just trying to go get it. It was dispersed, all my toys dispersed in the yard. And I was and my lipstick. I was so upset about my lipstick.
Oh, so sad at 4. Oh no.
Yeah. I was like, my mom said, she was like, the fishies are they're so pretty. I was like, give it back.
Not the
What
lip
the y'all?
smackers. Um that's that's when Megan's lip complex began.
And hilariously, if y'all have been listening, the day I was supposed to get my lips done, I had a lip issue that prevented me from
Yeah.
getting my lips done. So I texted Ryan and he was like, "Oh, oh,
I knew it. Whatever. Whatever. But anyway, like okay, and like as a kid, like it's so easy to think of dispersing and scattered, like your shit's thrown all over the place, right? As what a shitty thing. And like eat for sure. And it's shitty to be a Gemini who's scattered. And I feel like I'm all over the place all the damn time. My life is totally a hurricane. And you look at that negatively, but this is literally what a cool way to view this. You can view anything positively. You can literally choose to take a different perspective on anything. I think that's like a big power
110%."
of all of this, right? Of anything. But like the idea of dispersing as actual expansion, your shit getting thrown far and wide, which kind of makes you realize I can't do it all. I can't go pick up all these things. I can't go get all my toys. So what matters? You know what I mean? Like what matters right now?
Oh, that hits right now because I've got so much to do, and there's only
Yeah,
one of me, and I'm just like, fuck, 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 and I'm having to rely on people, which is not my forte, and also letting go the dispersing of shit. There's so many relationships that I've had where I've like, okay, like I can't. I've done my best. I've got to just let the chips fly where they fly. The birds fall where they fall. And it's just been, and I'm like, if these connections are truly what I think they are, then I'm just
uh-huh.
gonna be like, I'm doing my thing. Everyone knows where to find me. Like you need me, that's my kryptonite. Somebody needs me, and I'm like, trouble? I'm there, like so my
Yeah.
girlfriends is just so yeah, this has been a humbling emotional summer for me
It,
because I just have to be and mind my business. Like, why don't you stop minding everyone else's business? Why don't you stop tending to everyone else and tend to your own shit? And that's what I've had to do.
totally. Yeah, you're letting go of a lot of those things, right? Which
Mhm.
is I think an element like in dispersing, you're gonna have to like literally let go. But that's in that you find what's fucking important. I don't know. And I
110%.
think this is like literally one of the big like tenets for me of Gemini energy. And I talk about it with clients if they have Gemini energy in their chart, like in the context of where it is in their chart. But it's like a thing with the Gemini is like their power really is sticky power, where it's like you pick a fucking path, and we can pick a couple, we can multitask. It is the part of your chart where you're able to multitask in life a little bit, but
Mhm.
not in all directions, like that's not feasible, right? But it's like you can't figure out what to stick to. Like a Gemini is that non-committal type of energy, but there are things you can stick to. And it's like you just can't figure out what you're going to stick to until you thoroughly experiment and explore and
So
go
you
through
throw
all
something at the
options. You
wall, see if it
scatter.
sticks. Yeah.
Yes. Not everything's going to fucking work, like so it's a big part of it is like that need to play around and then let things go and realize like that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, this might be it. I don't know. It's just really fucking interesting like that. I don't know. I think this is like such a cool way to like have looked at the idea of a hurricane, literally like what it does in your life. It's a dispersion and it can destruct but create.
It's a wild time. I think that it's just right now, like coming back to connections, what we've been talking about this whole summer, at this hurricane moment, it's like, what are you looking for? What do you need? What's, like, are you throwing your shit out there, metaphorically speaking, to see if
Yeah.
it sticks? Are you trying,
Yeah.
like, or are you just sitting and stewing in the pollution of your mind?
Yeah. Like, and holding on too tight to shit, like trying to control shit too
Yes.
much. Let it fucking go. Let it disperse. Shit comes back that matters, right? Like, I think, I don't know. It's like, so what? I don't know. This is such a cool exercise in my mind. I hate, like, it just makes it me
I
think
think
of
there's
that
always
idea
a
of
fear
letting
that they
go.
won't. Yeah, one. I think the thing is with letting go, the fear is that, like, like, well, what if they don't come back? Which is understandable because
Totally.
like, but that's attachment. That's not connection,
That, yep.
because true connection comes back. So
Yeah.
then, so what if? But you have to realize too. And I just sent this to a friend who went through something fucking horrific this week, which I, maybe we'll talk, maybe with her permission, be able to speak on a later date. But I was like, to date, you have survived and come through everything that you've been through. All of us have. And that's what, like, we put all this, I'll never be the same if they, or we put all this pressure and we on external circumstances, but don't validate the people that we are, and that you have survived everything that you have gone through, and you not only survived, thrived. It might have taken a minute, and fuck no one wants to go through this, and it's hard.
Yeah, dude.
But what comes out the other side, just so in a hurricane there's something called an eye, right? And so the eye, everything gets really calm for a moment,
Yeah.
and it gets really still. And a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, it's over," and they go outside and then they die. So you want you want to stay inside, but it's very calm. And then all of a sudden, like, the waters are calm, the wind is calm. And then the hurricane moves in an opposite direction.
See, that's
So
like, oh,
it's
so
so
interesting.
wild. And so then all of a sudden, so you were chaotically moving in one direction, right? Then you get a moment of peace, and then it chaotically switches:
Yeah.
the wind, the water, the churning, the disbursement. And then, you're in the throes of it again. But the cool thing, and it's not, but generally speaking, after a hurricane, it is so beautiful outside after.
Isn't that,
And there is
yeah.
hell everywhere. Electrical lines are down. Your toys are everywhere. I mean, like, it is hell. But you look and, like, the sun is out, and if you're living near the water, there's boats and bullshit all up in that joint. But the water is blue and clear, and there's a stillness, and there's a little breeze, and you're like, I've got a long journey ahead of me that I've got to clean up this mess, but I'm gonna be okay.
Yes, man. This is like, okay. Oh my God. This is like so interesting to me because I've been like, prepping for the, I guess, September astrology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one big theme that we'll get to in that is simplification as a means of expansion, because Jupiter's going to go retrograde at the start of September, which is Jupiter's the abundance planet. It wants you to
Yeah.
expand, but it's in Taurus. I'll get into it more later, but Taurus is like a very like simple sign. It loves luxury, but like it's really the expansion Jupiter's going to bring when it's retrograde in Taurus is going to come through your ability to restrict, to minimize. Jupiter is a maximalist planet, but this is about minimizing, right? Cleaning things out, like creating that space and energy so that like new things can come in, what's meant for you, whatever. So that's why I think this is really interesting, because this hurricanes happening beforehand, and this idea of scatter, go, like expand, let shit go right now, because that will create a minimizing process, basically, right? Like you're gonna realize what you need to focus on as you do that. And I don't think we're gonna have that ability to disperse in September, to be honest. So
Ironically, so with you talking about Jupiter, and like, I'm a yes person, right? Like, say yes to the universe, say yes.
yeah.
So, but I was Andrew Huberman. I think he said he was like this neuroscience, not neuroscientist. He's a brilliant doctor of something, but he's got a podcast all about life hacks. But he said that he says no to himself like 50 times a day. And I was like, huh, isn't that interesting? Where it'll be like, no, you're not going to get off the treadmill. So I'm training for my show. No, you're not going to get off a second early. No, you don't need, I really right now want coffee and cream from the office. And it's just like, it's this something I'm craving and I see it every day. And I'm like, no, you don't need that. And the ability to say no to yourself creates the ability to say yes in so many other different arenas. So we will often say yes to ourselves that in arenas that will cause us major issues. But if you say no to like, no, I don't need that donut. No, I don't need that. Like it creates yes expansion where it needs to happen. And so with this astrology that's coming forth, the ability to say no and simplify your life, no, then will create the ability to say yes in the areas that you really need it to happen.
Yes, killer way to put it. Because I always definitely view Jupiter as like a yes and an invite, like accept the invite. And this is a turn it down and see what happens, or like restrict and see what happens, minimize.
Like, I'm not going to go to the party with you, but how about we go get coffee? Like how about we talk one-on-one?
I fucking love it, man. Yes. And like, I don't know, like I want everybody to think of this like in such a different way. Like, look, you can view a disaster, a hurricane, in a beautiful way. The first like sentence in this overview of the I Ching thing here, the first sentence is saying Huan. I don't know if that's pronounced right, but like Huan, which is this whatever hexagram. Huan is about removing barriers. Like, think about this. It's about removing barriers that are currently stalling any progress. Think about that in the context of a hurricane. You can look at it like shit's getting wiped clean. Everything's dispersing. All my stuff is everywhere. I'm losing everything. I'm like getting ripped away from me or whatever. Or are barriers being taken away from your life right now? Are you holding on to things that you don't need to fucking hold on to anymore? Some of it will come back. The right shit will come back. But your progress is being stalled right now. So this hurricane, quote unquote, is coming in your life, making you feel scattered, so that forcing a release of things that are barriers to your progress. I think that's fucking beautiful. And literally, like, also, isn't this kind of funny? Because I didn't say this, whatever. One of the sentences here says, well, it may be necessary to use different means of help to whatever. Okay, hold on. It says, it may be that an outside mediator is required. Like, that's sort of like an advice tip in this. And a big part of it too, like the general overview says, in order to advance, you will need to eliminate the causes of disharmony in love. It says barriers to your relationship can be removed by strengthening communication. This to me matters. Last night we communicated in this huge way that, again, I don't have this expectation. It's just like the love was so there and like the communication was so there, and it may be that an outside mediator is required. I didn't say this in the podcast yet, but I told you already, like beforehand, that
there was a buffer.
This boy's, there was a buffer.
There
was a third person there.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't there, but he was there for enough time and did enough that caused this communication to be very free.
To create. And also, when you were talking, I remembered in my research for the retreat this past weekend, I came across a really interesting view on self-sabotage. I think that this energy just allows you to really, if you're of sane mind, to play with things. Self-sabotage, it actually gives you what you want deep down, because there's something, because you're creating chaos, you're creating a hurricane in your life, because there is something deep down that you need that maybe you're not brave enough to have. So you're creating some unfavorable circumstances in your life that then force you to deal with these issues. And I was like, well, isn't that
so good? Oh yeah.
And so, because we live, when we act out of favor, when we yell, it produces guilt and shame, which was also the like, and guilt and shame hijack your emotional mind. They hijack you when we are in shame, we are not fit for human consumption because
Uh,
whoever is around us is of, a lesser power structure. So whether it's a boss, an employee, a parent, or a child, you'll attack them. And so it's so wild to flip all these concepts and kind of let them ruminate in your brain and see where you end up. If you're feeling shame, you're not fit for human consumption. Thank you, Lord and Savior Brene Brown. Get out, like take a minute. And this is how you become shame resilient. Also, if you're going through something super shameful or painful and you can't get out of it, right? They say pain, 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 pain over and over again because it gets your frontal cortex back online. So you're able to actually not make these emotionally reckless decisions.
yes. Oh my God. Yes. This is so
So
cool.
all of it's so wild. Yeah.
I know. And that's why I don't know. Like, I feel like this is what I love about this podcast is it's so easy to be like, yeah, sure, let's riff on an episode about the hurricane. No, because it's always going to go fucking deeper, like, and it's like, this is what, well, I mean, we're trying to talk about what spirituality is, but talking about what it isn't and whatever. And
Yeah.
I think like it's even like the business of spirituality episode, right? With the California Psychic CEO, like where it's like, anything can be spiritual. You can literally view a hurricane spiritually. Did we not just do that? We literally even just talked about the I Ching, which is a divination spiritual fucking book. And it's like talking about like you can
Where are the hurricanes in your life? Are you a hurricane in your life? Does a hurricane need to come into your life? Like these are just kind of questions to ask and see.
yes, the benefit of that, like you think like some of the I won't keep reading from this stuff, but like some of it is a bit like, okay, in a hurricane, like community is tested, right? Like that sense that you realize like the power of like support systems, working together, cooperation to get through like a big event or whatever. That to me
Yeah.
is funny because it reminds me of where I felt that little like ping of hurt, weirdly, when my
Yeah.
friend told me that like his hookups were like wanting to like shack up during the
Back
hurricane. And I
up.
was like, I was all
Yeah.
by myself. Like I didn't have this literal storm was happening and I didn't have a system. Like
None of
I
y'all wanted to snuggle with me. Yeah.
yeah, but it was more, it's like I think like it was just deeper than that, right? Knowing like if shit it really did hit the fan, I would have been on my own at that, like quite literally.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but then there was this beautiful
That's,
hurricane last night, and I'm with people, and you see, we're just going with it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I don't know, man. You'd
We're
like
getting
let
swept up. You
go,
know
and
what? Everyone saw Forrest Gump. And what happened? Lieutenant Dan was on was on top of that boat, like screaming at God, dusting God. And like Forrest is just trying to drive that shrimp boat, and then boom, what happens? Beautiful bounty. He starts bubblegum shrimp, and Lieutenant Dan meets God, and then finds his lady, gets some legs. I mean, that
I
that
haven't
is a
seen that movie in
hurricane.
forever. No, totally.
It's a freaking classic. Everybody needs to go watch Forrest Gump. Get on it. And so yeah, Jupiter goes into retrograde. Y'all watch Forrest Gump. You want to talk about it? Simple expansion is Forrest freaking Gump.
Absolutely, Jesus.
So yeah, where's the hurricane in your life, man? Or do you need to create ones?
Yeah. And I think what a good exercise in like when your life is in that storm space, it's like, okay, there's always going to be a brighter side to it. I'm not acknowledge the storm's happening, of course, like you're going to have to deal and it's going to be
Yeah,
shitty. It derailed my life a little bit, right? The literal hurricane did for damn sure. I'm literally still dealing with the like after effects of that like time without power. But
yeah.
like what oh my God, like the way to make it better is to like think about the bright side of those situations. Like this was like in my next hurricane, this is all I'm going to think about now. I'm going to be like, what is dispersing in my life?
Maybe when you're going through something in life, name it a storm. Why not? Like be like, in my next hurricane. Because you're not, it's going to happen. Like
Yes.
so many people have been fed just so much bullshit in regards to like life isn't going to be hard. No, I mean, you want to invite the hardness of life in because that's what's going to make you, baby. Like people who have never been through anything or bless it, their problems. I'm like, these are your problems. Like, bless you, Grant. I mean, but there's no context. It's hard to talk to them. because the things that they make such a big deal about, the normal person, the average person cannot relate.
I love what you said about the eye of the storm too. Like, cause yeah, shit's gonna get scattered and swept up, and you're gonna have to adjust to this like dispersed energy and shit that had to leave your life, whatever, right? And then you hit that eye of the storm moment and you think it's all calm or whatever. Swept up again. It's literally, and you could take that in so many ways where it's like, I think I find a truth about life or whatever. And then the universe, and I'm like, yay, I've got like something
Plot
figured out. And then
twist.
the universe is like, blip, never mind, bitch. But it's like,
Yeah.
that's a fact of life. It's just going to keep happening. You'll keep coming like swept up. You find that little like plot of land where you could like chill for a hot second, catch your breath, get ready for the next thing to go. We are on a fucking floating rock, like going thousands of miles an hour or whatever it is. Like we are literally always moving at the
And it also
speed of
means
damn like
that you have a life well lived. If you are experiencing, like now here's the thing. I don't want you going and intentionally seeking chaos and like dismantling your life for no purpose. Like enjoy the peace, enjoy the eye of the storm, enjoy the aftermath. But it's so important to experience for everything for what it is.
yes, literally a part of this little I Ching thing says a calm and persistent approach is required. It is not saying be a fucking hurricane, but
No,
it is saying when a hurricane
do
happens.
not be there's a difference between, like being a terror and being a terrorist and causing and inflicting intentional pain, but you will hurt people and people will hurt you. Take ownership of that when that happens, but don't go out of your way to hurt people, because that's going to come back on you times, oh man, times so much.
Yes, the
Like,
responsibility.
yes, it's so, and it's so, like if you are a mean person inflicting pain on someone intentionally, no,
I
don't
literally
do.
love that you're saying this. I'm like, are you reading when I'm reading? Like the next sentence. I'm not even joking, dude. The next sentence here says, and then this is like the final thing I will read from this. I think I've read it all basically, but it says, this is a time when there is likely to be some damage caused by the removal of the obstacles, which you're not even
Uh-huh.
realizing are obstacles, right? These are just things you need to let go
Mhm.
of, and you'll see that after. But anyway, and it says, and if so, you must try and limit damage to areas not directly linked to the cause of the conflict. AKA, if your life is in a goddamn hurricane right now or whatever, don't go fucking flying your shit in someone else's fucking
Be
face. If they have nothing to do with it,
responsible.
don't take it out on other people. Like, yeah.
Be responsible. And also know that not I know when life is when someone's actions have harmed you, it is very easy to villainize that person. 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, people are doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And so there are sometimes that people do go out of their way to hurt others, but most of the time it's not. We are all involved with one another. So when you just realize that people are doing the best they can with the tools they have and the perspective they have, it takes the pain and you villainizing someone else, because all that does, once again, how you judge other people is how you judge yourself, and all
Yeah.
you're doing is causing more pain and chaos. When you got hate in your heart for other
Yeah.
people and you're not able to forgive them, you're not able to forgive yourself. And it's just this wild fucking circle that you'll never get off of, this wild ride of hell. And you just create more, it breeds more chaos in your life. And it's not the life hurricane that we're talking about. You are then you're looting, you're the looter, you're setting fires, because you can only control yourself.
I feel like when I had that little like hurricane a month ago with Mr. Man,
Mhm.
dead
Yeah.
serious. The next day I tried to be responsible, honestly, and like tried to like smooth it over the next day. And he was nice back, but like was pretty like, no,
Not
like
responsible.
let's not talk or whatever. I think
Yeah.
it was just a hungover thing or something. But then we didn't, I was like, maybe he was just literally doesn't want to talk right now and needs the space or whatever. The final sentence, literally, and this is communication and cooperation are the keys to success. But communication can be nonverbal. Cooperation can be, let me respect your space right now. That hurricane happened. I had to let those things disperse. We didn't talk for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That sucked. But I took that responsibility. I said, like, why force it? Like, why? If it's
Well, he
meant
wasn't
to come back,
ready.
it will. And look, it did.
And communication is important, but the underline is comprehension. If you are not comprehending, or someone can't comprehend what you are saying, then what you are communicating is null and void. So
Yeah.
where are people at? I don't think we can, I mean, I think so. Dear viewers, Ryan and I are both looking at each other with our mouths
Listeners.
open.
I know. I'm just like thinking in so many ways.
It
I
was
don't
so
know.
synchronistic too, because this whole conversation has been so you guys got a lot to think about, with this hurricane of life. Are you a hurricane inviting a hurricane in? Are you having a hurricane party? Are you in the midst of destruction? Are you a looter? Are you in the eye?
This is such a cool idea. I love this.
Yeah,
This like, I love this. This is like, I love the serendipity sessions that we're doing. Like the free flow shit is so fun. So
it is.
interesting. We went in so many directions, and I feel like, yay, like maybe this wasn't like an awful episode for my mom to listen to. So, mom, if you suck it out, I would.
I don't know. We gave her a few
And
warnings.
honestly, listeners, I'm really glad I spared y'all the very explicit details of what happened to me last night, because good God, that was like
I got him.
not for children. Oh yeah, Megan got him real quick before we hit record. I was like, I have to tell you some things that I just what
Yeah.
Oh
Get
my
it.
God.
I'm glad
Oh
you and
my
Mr.
God.
Man had a nice time. Life's short.
I
Get it
know.
in.
Exactly. Exactly. And if that, and it's like I have to operate like if that was the last time, oh my God, so fucking be it. What a great fucking last time. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Exactly. And
That's
it's
fucking
just
it.
having that experience. Boom, you're here. I'm having this experience with you and I'm not judging it, but I'm not judging you by the past. Right here in this moment, we are having an experience and God, it is lovely.
Yes. And it's so like, I don't know. We've talked about this, especially you, like, and it's in the money episode, even like the
Yeah.
intent, the pure, I don't know, like there's no other option. You just know. And so it's like for me in this, I'm like, yeah, maybe that'll be the last time. I don't fucking know. But
No
there's also,
way.
but no, it won't be.
No, because the thing is that the key here is that not get is just like I said, not getting in your head and just having these
Yeah,
because the more pure moments you have like this, then you're able to connect deeper with that
keep
person
going.
without bringing the past or having that connection. So you're able to just have these experiences, and it's just
Yes.
like and it strengthens the connection,
Yeah,
not the
dude.
bond, not
Yes.
the attachment, the
Yes.
connection. It makes the
Yes.
connection safe. And if you can make a connection safe for someone, then they will come back to it time and time again. It is when you make it chaotic and you don't deal with your own hurricane and you cause chaos in their life. That's where they'll come back to the connection, but hesitantly, not sure. And then, that's when all chaos breaks loose.
I'm so yes, the communication aspect is like so stupid important. Great theme in general for the Mercury retrograde, which we'll talk about more later, but I think that's so important, especially even with the like people feeling distance from each other and that's why they shout and whatever. Like the communication, good communication can really bridge that shit. I don't know. Like I've been so fulfilled by the deeper conversations that I've really been working to initiate lately. It's so easy to stop, but I just keep thinking this has really just been in the past month. Like I obviously always think deep and whatever, but you're someone that I think always gets like a very honest part of me. But I'm like, I don't want the fucking surface level bullshit. Like, who'd you hook up with? Show me the picture of the guy you met
Yeah.
on Grindr. It's like, this is stupid fucking, what are we doing? So I
Yeah.
keep pushing people to go deeper. Like, I really fucking do. And it's been so fucking gratifying. And then if you
Yeah.
don't want to, cool, I don't care. But like, I'm trying to connect with you a little deeper and it's been working. It's been
No,
fucking
I don't.
working.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested. I don't like if you know me on a personal level. I'm not interested in the fluff. Like
Yeah,
you'll be telling stuff, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm like, I don't want these fluffy details. Like, what's going on? I want the meat of the story. Like, I want what are we doing? I
yeah,
do not do fluff. I'm not because the fluff to me is a distraction. What are you trying to hide from? So and I'm intent too. I'm intent. So when I'm looking at you, I'm like, what are we?
yeah.
So sometimes with new people, I gotta rein it back in because I'm like, like I don't want to. What are we? What are you trying to say to me? Like, let's do it. Like, let's get it out.
Totally. Like, I mean, I think like there's an art to surface level communication, but like I think really only when you're establishing the connection.
But if you're a friend of mine, I am not interested in fluff. Do not. It's almost borderline insulting if you're close to me and you're fluffing me. I don't need a fluffer. I can fluff my damn self. All right, guys. Well, I love this. I love you. I'm glad that you had such a relatable. I mean, I think so many people can relate to this. I know
I
I
really
can.
hope so. I'm gonna like work on editing maybe some of the fluff. I'm sure that some of my little tangents or something, I don't know. I'll edit it. I'll clean it up a little bit.
All right, guys. Well,
Killer.
create a hurricane.
Yes. And also review us, rate us 5 stars. Like, I'm trying to like remember to plug this shit. Go to our website if you want, clairanoise.com. Like, let us know what you want to hear.
Thank you all for the love and support, especially our international people. You guys are killer. We've been hitting it hard in Norway. What else? There was some like
I think there was
wild...
like South Korea, even Norway,
Israel.
definitely. I think
Israel hit one week.
yeah, we've been getting some weird ones. I don't know. Australia,
yeah.
what happened to you guys though? Haven't seen us on the Australian charts in a while. Okay. Just gonna say that. We were all for you, and then now what's going on? Whatever. Okay, everybody. Love you all. This has been so great. So great. Till next time.
Yeah.